the most enduring things we take away from the holidays we celebrate each December are not the cards, not the gifts, not the pictures, but the memories we keep. The piece you're about to hear this afternoon is an autobiographical recollection of a Christmas when Truman Capote was 7 years old. Left by his parents, who were forever leaving him to pursue their own dreams, Truman found himself living with much older cousins down in Monroeville, Alabama. They were 3 quarrelsome sisters in their late middle age, with their older reclusive brother in an atmosphere heavy with small secrets and ancient resentments. Jenny, Callie, Sook, and Bud, united by blood in the rambling old house on Alabama Avenue, and divided by jealousy and the accumulated hurts of half a century. Sook, the oldest in years, was the youngest in mind and spirit. Shy and unworldly, Sook knew nothing of the world outside of Monroe County. Her job was to stay at home and take care of the house. When Truman arrived, this young boy soon became her best and truest friend. This piece is a memory. To borrow a quote from a contemporary of Mr. Capote's, Tennessee Williams, in the preface of his play, The Glass Menagerie, quote, "Being a memory play, it is dimly lighted. It is sentimental. It is not realistic. In memory, everything seems to happen to music." We now present Patricia NEAL and Joel V. in Truman Capote's A Christmas Country.
Imagine a morning in late November, coming of winter morning more than 20 years ago. Consider the kitchen of a spreading old house in a country town. A great black stove is its main feature, but there's also a big wooden table and a fireplace with 2 rocking chairs placed in front of it. Just today the fireplace commenced its seasonal roar. A woman with jet black hair peppered with gray is sitting at the kitchen table looking out the window. She's wearing tennis shoes and a shapeless cream sweater over a summery calico dress. She's large boned, but moves sprightly, like a bantam hen. But due to a long youthful illness, her shoulders are pitifully hunched. Her face is remarkable, not unlike Lincoln, craggy like that. It's tinted by sun and wind, but it is delicate too, finely boned, and her eyes are sherry-colored and tinted.
Oh my, it's fruitcake weather.
The person to whom she is speaking is myself. I am 7. She is 60-something. We are cousins, very distant ones, and we have lived together, well, as long as I can remember.
Other people inhabit the house, relatives, and they have their power over us and frequently make us cry. We're not on the whole too much aware of them. We are each other's best friends.
She calls me Buddy in memory of a boy who used to be her best friend. The other Buddy died in the 1880s when she was still a child. She is still a child.
Couldn't find it. I knew it before I got out of bed. The courthouse bell sounded so cold and clear, and there were no birds singing. They've gone to warmer country, yes indeed, buddy. But he stopped sneaking out bread out of them. You know, stop snuffing biscuit and fetch our buggy. Help me find my hat. We've 30 cakes to bake.
It's always been the same. The morning arrives in November, and my friend, as though officially inaugurating the Christmas time of year that exhilarates her imagination and fuels the blaze of her heart, announces,
It's fruitcake weather. Fetch our buggy. Help me find my hat.
the hat is found.
A straw cartwheel corsage with velvet roses out of doors is faded. It once belonged to a more fashionable relative. Together, we guide our buggy, a dilapidated baby carriage, out to the garden and into a gray grove of pecan trees.
The buggy is mine. That is, it was bought for me when I was born. It is made of wicker, rather unraveled, and the wheels wobble like a drunkard's legs.
But it is a faithful object. Springtime, we take it to the wood and fill it with flowers, herbs, wild ferns for our porch pot. And in the summer, we pile it with picnic paraphernalia and sugarcane, fishing prods, and roll it down to the edge of the creek.
It has its winter uses too, as a truck for hauling firewood from the yard to the kitchen, as a warm bed for Queenie, our tough little orange and white rat terrier who has survived distemper and 2 rattlesnake bites. Queenie is trotting beside it now.
3 hours later, we are back in the kitchen, hulling and heaping buggy loads of windfall pecans. Ooh, our backs hurt with gathering them. Oh, how hard they find where we're to find the main crop, having been shaken off the orchard, off the trees, sold by the orchard's owner, not one of us. Colorado.
A cheery crunch, scraps of miniature thunder sound as the shells collapse and the golden mound of sweet, oily ivory meat mounts in the milk glass bowl. Queenie begs to taste, and now and again, my friend sneaks her a mite, though insisting we deprive ourselves.
No, we mustn't, buddy. If we started, we won't stop. And there's scarcely enough as there is for 30 cakes.
The kitchen is growing dark. Dusk turns the window into a mirror. Our reflections mingle with the rising moon as we work by the fireside in the firelight. At last, when the moon is quite high, we toss the final hull into the fire and, with joy sighs, we watch it catch flame. The buggy is empty. The bowl is brimful. We eat our supper
Cold biscuits, bacon, blackberry jam.
and discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow, the kinds of work I like best begin. Buying.
Cherry and citron, ginger and vanilla, and canned Hawaiian pineapple, rinds and raisins and walnuts and whiskey, and oh, so much flour, butter, so many eggs, spices, flavors. Why, we need a pony to pull the buggy home.
But before purchases can be made, there is the question of money. Neither of us has any, except for skinflint sums persons in the house occasionally provide. A dime is considered very big money, or what we earn ourselves from various activities like holding rummage sales.
Selling buckets of blackberries, jars of homemade hamey jam and pineapple jelly and peach preserves, rounding up flowers for funerals and weddings. Once we win the 79th prize, $5 in the national football contest. Not that one of us know a thing about football.
Just that we enter any contest we hear about. At the moment, our hopes are centered on the $50,000 grand prize being offered to name a new brand of coffee. We suggested AM, and after some hesitation from my friend thought it perhaps sacrilegious, the slogan, AM, Amen.
Oh, to tell the truth, our only real profitable enterprise was the Fun and Freak Museum. We conducted a backyard woodshed 2 summers ago.
The Fun was a stereopticon with slide views of Washington and New York City, lent to us by a relative who had been to those places.
Oh, she was furious when she discovered we'd borrowed it.
The Freak was,
Oh, nobody, let me tell you. The Freak was a 3-legged bitty chicken, hatched one by one of our own hens. Everybody hereabouts wanted to see that bitty.
we charged grown-ups a nickel, kids 2 cents, took in a good $20 before the museum shut down due to the decease of the main attraction.
But one way and another, we too, each year, accumulate Christmas savings, a fruitcake fund.
These monies we keep hidden in an ancient bead purse, under a loose board, under the floor, under the chamber pot, under my friend's bed. The purse is seldom removed from this safe location except to make a deposit or, as happens every Saturday, a withdrawal. For on Sundays, I'm allowed 10 cents to go to the picture show. My friend has never been to the picture show, nor does she intend to.
I'd rather hear you tell the story, buddy. That way I can imagine it more. Besides, a person my age shouldn't squander their eyes. The Lord comes. Let me see him clear.
In addition to never having seen a movie, she has never
Eaten in a restaurant, travel more than 5 miles from home. Receive or send a telegram, read anything except funny papers and the Bible. Worn cosmetics, cursed, wish someone harm, told a lie on purpose, let a dog go hungry,
Here are a few things she has done, does do.
kill with a hoe the biggest rattlesnake ever seen in this country.
16 rounds.
Nip snuff secretly. Name hummingbirds till they balance on the finger.
Just try it.
Tell ghost stories.
We both believe in ghosts.
So tingling they chill you in July.
You talk to yourself.
Take walks in the rain. Grow the prettiest japonicas in town. Know the recipe for every sort of old-time Indian cure, including a magic warp remover.
Now, with supper finished, we retire to the room in the faraway part of the house where my friend sleeps.
Silently wallowing in the pleasures of conspiracy, we take the bead purse from its secret place and spill it the contents on the scrap quilt. Dollar bills, tightly rolled and green as Maybuds.
Some are 50-cent pieces, heavy enough to weight a dead man's eye.
Lovely times, the liveliest coin, the one that really jingles. Nickels, quarters, one smooth as a crepe purple.
But mostly a hateful heap of bitter-odored penny. Last summer, others in the house contracted to pay us a penny for every 25 flies we killed.
Oh, the carnage of August. Flies that flew dead.
And it was not work in which we took pride. And as we sit counting pennies, it is as though we were back tabulating dead flies. Neither of us has a head for figures. We count slowly, lose track, start again. According to her calculations, we have $12.73. According to mine, exactly $13.
Well, I do hope you're wrong, buddy. We can't meal around with 13. The cakes will fall. And I put someone on the cemetery. Why, I wouldn't dream of getting out of bed on the 13th.
This is true. She always spends 13th in bed. So, just to be on the safe side, we subtract a penny and toss it out the window.
Of the ingredients that go into our fruitcake our fruitcakes, whiskey is the most expensive, as well as the hardest to obtain. State laws forbid its sale, but everybody knows you can buy a bottle from Mr. Ha-Ha Joe.
And the next day, having completed our more prosaic shopping, we set out for Mr. Ha-Ha's business address. A sinful, to quote public opinion, fish frying and dancing cafe down by the river.
Oh, we've been there before. On the same errand. But in previous years, our dealings have been with Ha-Ha's wife. An ideal, dark Indian woman with brass, peroxided hair and a dead tired disposition. Actually, we've never laid eyes on her husband. Though we've heard that he's an Indian too.
A giant with razor scars across his cheek.
Oh, they call him Ha-Ha because he's gloomy. A man who never laughs as they approach his cafe. Our steps slow down.
Even Queenie stops prancing and sits close by.
People have been murdered in Ha-Ha's cafe, cut to pieces, hit on the head. Oh, there's a case coming up in the court next month.
Naturally, these goings-on happen at night when the colored lights cast crazy patterns and the Victrola wails. In the daytime, Ha-Ha's is shabby and deserted. I knock at the door. Queenie barks.
Mrs. Ha-Ha, ma'am! Yoo-hoo! Anyone's home?
Footsteps. The door opens. Our hearts overturn.
Oh, it's Mr. Ha himself.
He is a giant. He does have scars. No, he doesn't smile. He glowers at us through Satan-tilted eyes and demands to know, what you want with her? For a moment, we are too paralyzed to tell.
If you please, Mr. Ha, we'd like a quart of your finest whiskey.
His eyes tilt more. Would you believe it? Ha-Ha is smiling, laughing too.
Which one of you is a drinking man?
Oh, it's for making fruitcake, Mr. Ha.
This sobers him. He frowns.
That's no way to waste good whiskey.
Nevertheless, he retreats into the shadowed cafe. Seconds later appears carrying a bottle of daisy yellow, unlabeled liquor. He demonstrates its sparkle in the sunlight and says,
$2.
But we pay him nickel and dimes and pennies, and suddenly, as he jangles the coins in his hand, like a fistful of dice, his face softens.
Tell you what,
he proposes, pouring the money back into our beaded purse.
just send me one of them fruitcakes instead.
That's a lovely man. Put an extra cup of raisins in his cake.
The black stove, stoked with coal and firewood, glows like a lighted pumpkin.
Egg beaters swirl, spoons spin round in bowls. Of butter and sugar, vanilla sweetens the air. Ginger spices it. Melting nose, tingling odors saturate the kitchen. Suffuse the house. Drift of the world of puffs of chimney smoke.
In 4 days, our work is done. 31 cakes dampened with whiskey bask on windowsills and shelves. Who are they for, you ask?
Oh, friends.
Not necessarily neighbor friends. Indeed, the larger share is intended for persons we've met maybe once, perhaps not at all.
People who struck our fancy, like Roosevelt.
Like the Reverend and Mr. J.C. Lucy, Baptist missionaries to Borneo, who lectured here last winter.
Or the little knife grinder who comes through the town twice a year. Or Abner Packer, the driver of 6 o'clock bus from Mobile. Exchange waves with us every day as he passes in the dust cloud. Whoosh!
Or the young Wistons, a California couple whose car one afternoon broke down outside of our house, who spent a pleasant hour chatting with us on the porch.
Young Mr. Winston snapped our picture, the only one we've ever had taken.
Is it because, my friends, is shy with everyone except strangers, that these strangers and merest acquaintances seem to us our best and truest friends? I think yes. Also, the scrapbooks we keep of thank yous on White House stationery, time to time communications from California and Borneo, the night finder's penny postcards, make us feel connected to eventful worlds beyond the kitchen, with its view of a sky that stops.
Now a new December big branch plants against the window. The kitchen is empty. The cakes are gone. Yesterday we carted the last of them to the post office, where the cost of stamps turned our purse upside down. We're broke.
That rather depresses me, but my friend insists on celebrating, with 2 inches of whiskey left in Mr. Ha-Ha's bottle.
Queenie has a spoonful and a bowl of coffee. Oh, she likes her coffee flavored and strong. And the rest we divide between a pair of jelly glasses. With both of us ordered the prospect of drinking the strange whiskey. The taste of it brings screwed up expressions and sour shudders.
By and by, we begin to sing. 2 of us singing different songs, sometimes simultaneously. I don't know all the words to mine, just ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, the taxi, honey, ba-da-da-da, about 8:30. Oh baby, don't be late, we're gonna be there when the band starts playing. But I'm get there, honey. We're gonna have it up, we're gonna dance on both of our shoes. When you play those Jelly Roll blues,
Get together.
and you hug me out, the dog down started. B-A-double-L ball, match in the gas tank. Boom, boom. I can't sing, but I can dance. That's what I mean to be, tap dancer in the movies. My dancing shadow rocks on the walls. Our voices rock the china whip. We giggle as if unseen hands were tickling us.
Queenie rolls on her back, her paws plow the air. Something like a grin stretches her back lips. Instead, myself, I feel warm and sparky as those crumbling logs, carefree as the wind in the chimney.
My friend waltzes around the stove, her tennis shoes squeaking on the floor, the hem of her poor calico skirt between her fingers as though it were a party dress.
Oh, show me the way to go home. Oh, show me the way to go home.
Enter two relatives.
Very angry.
Potent with eyes that scold.
Tongues that scold.
Listen to what they have to say, the words tumbling together into a wrathful tune.
A child of 7?
Whiskey on his breath.
Are you out of your mind?
Beating a child of 7.
Must feel real.
Road to ruination.
Remember Cousin Kay?
Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie's brother-in-law.
Shame.
Scandal.
Humiliation.
Neal.
Praise. Thank
The
the Lord.
Lord.
Queenie sneaks under the stove. My friend gazes at her shoes, her chin quivers. She lifts her skirt and blows her nose and runs to her room. Long after the house is silent, except for the chiming of clocks and the sputter of fading flyers, she's weeping into a pillow already as wet as a widow's handkerchief. Don't cry. Sitting on the bottom of her bed and shivering despite my flannel nightgown that smells like last winter's cough syrup. Don't cry, I beg, teasing her clothes, tickling her feet. You're too old for that.
Because I'm too old. Old and funny.
Not funny. Fun. More fun than anybody. Listen, if you don't stop crying, you'll be so tired tomorrow we can't go cut a tree. She straightens up. Queenie jumps on the bed where Queenie is not allowed to lick her cheek.
Oh, I know. We'll find real pretty trees, buddy. And holly, too. With berries as big as your eyes. Oh, it's way off in the woods. Farther than we've ever been. Papa used to bring us trees from there. Carried them on his shoulders. It's 50 years ago. Oh, well, now, I can't wait for morning.
Morning. Frozen rime lusters the grass. The sun, round as an orange and orange as hot weather moon, balances on the horizon, burnishes the silvered winter woods. Wild turkey calls. A renegade hog runs in the undergrowth. Soon, by the edge of the knee-deep, rapid running water, we have to abandon the bucket.
Queenie wades the stream, first paddles across barking and complaints, the swiftness of the current, the pneumonia-making coldness of it.
We follow, holding our shoes and equipment, a hatchet and a burlap sack, above our heads. A mile more, another creek to cross. A disturbed armada of speckled trout froths the water around us, and frogs the size of plates practice belly flops. Beaver workmen are building a dam. On the farther shore, Queenie shakes herself and trembles. My friend shivers too, not with cold, but with enthusiasm. One of her hat's ragged roses sheds a petal as she lifts her head and inhales the pine-heavy air.
We're almost there. Oh, can you smell it, buddy?
As though we were approaching an ocean. And indeed it is a kind of an ocean. Scented acres of holiday trees, prickly-leaved holly, red berries shiny as Chinese bells, black crows swoop upon them screaming.
Having stuffed our burlap sacks with enough green and crimson to garland a dozen windows, we set about choosing a tree. It should be twice as tall as the boy, so a boy can't steal the star.
One we pick is twice as tall as me. A brave, handsome brute that survives 30 hatchet strokes before it keels with a creaking, rending cry. Lugging it like a kill, we commence the long trek out.
Every few yards we abandon the struggle, sit down and pant.
But we have the strength of triumphant huntsmen. That and the tree's virile, icy perfume revive us, goad us on. Many compliments accompany our sunset return along the red clay road to town. My friend is sly and non-committal. The passers-by praise the treasure perched on our buggy. What a fine tree, and where did it come from?
Oh, yonder way.
Once, car stops, and the rich mill owner's lazy wife leans out and whines. Give you 2 bits cash for that old tree.
Oh, we wouldn't take $1.
$1, my book, 50 cents. That's my final offer. Goodness, woman, you can always get yourself another one.
Oh, I doubt it. There's never two of anything.
Home. Queenie slumps by the fire and sleeps till tomorrow, snoring just as loud as a human.
A trunk in the attic contains a box of ermine tales off the opera cape of a curious lady who once rented my room in the house. Coils of brazzle, and drawn cold with age. One silver star, a brief rope of dilapidated, undoubtedly dangerous candy like bows, excellent decorations as far as they go. Well, it isn't far enough.
My friend wants our tree to blaze like a Baptist window, droop with weighty snows of ornament. But we can't afford the made-in-Japan splendors at the 5 and dime.
So we do it. See what we've always done. Sit for days in the kitchen table with scissors and crayons and stacks of colored paper.
I make sketches, and my friend cuts them out.
Oh, lots of cats, fish too.
Because they're easy to draw.
Some apples, some watermelons, a few winged angels devised from sheets of Hershey bar tinfoil.
We use safety pins to attach these creations to the tree. As a final touch, we sprinkle the branches with shredded cotton, picked in August for this purpose.
No, honest buddy, doesn't it look good enough to eat?
Queenie tries to eat an angel. After weaving and ribboning holly wreaths for all the front windows, our next project is the fashioning of family gifts.
I know. We'll tie-dye scarves, for some of the ladies, and for the men, a home-brewed lemon and licorice and aspirin syrup to be taken at the first symptoms of a cold. And after winning, I think,
When it comes time for making each other's gifts, my friend and I separate to work secretly. I would like to buy her a pearl-handled knife, a radio, a whole pound of chocolate-covered cherry.
I could live on them, buddy. Lord, yes, I could. But that's not taking his name in vain.
Instead, I'm building her a kite. She would like to give me a bicycle.
Oh, if only I could, buddy. It's bad enough in life to have something you really want. But confound it. What gets my goat is not being able to give somebody something they really want to have. Only one of these days I will, buddy. I will locate you a bike. Don't ask how. Steal it, maybe.
Instead, I'm fairly certain that she is building me a kite, same as last year and the year before. The year before that, we exchanged slingshots, all of which is fine by me. We are champion kite flyers who study the wind like sailors. My friend, more accomplished than I, can get a kite aloft when there isn't enough breeze to carry clouds.
Christmas Eve afternoon, we scrape together a nickel and go to the butcher's to buy Queenie's traditional gift. A good, noble people. The bone wrapped in funny paper. The suet is placed high in the tree near the silver star.
Queenie knows it's there. She squats at the foot of the tree, staring up in a trance of greed. When bedtime arrives, she refuses to budge. Her excitement is equaled by my own. I kick the covers and turn my pillow as though it were a scorching summer's night. Somewhere, a rooster crows falsely, but the sun is still on the other side of the world.
Buddy, are you awake?
My friend is sitting on the edge of my bed, holding a candle.
Well, I can't sleep. Woohoo! My mind jumps like a jackrabbit. Oh, buddy. Do you think Mrs. Roosevelt will serve our cake at dinner?
We huddle in bed, she squeezes my hand, I love you.
Oh, seems like your hand used to be so much smaller. I guess I hate to see you grow up. When you're grown up, will we still be friends?
I say, always.
Well, I feel so bad, buddy. I wanted so bad to give you a bite. I tried to sell some cameo Papa gave me. Buddy, I made you a kite, another kite.
Then I confess that I made her one too. And we laughed. The candle burns too short to hold. Out it goes, exposing the starlight. Stars spinning at the window like visible caroling. Slowly, slowly daybreak silence.
Possibly we do. But the beginning of dawn splash us like cold water. You're up wide-eyed and wondering while the others won't awaken.
Quite deliberately, my friend drops a kettle onto the kitchen floor. I tap dance in front of closed doors.
One by one, the house emerges, looking as though they like to kill us both. But it's Christmas, and they can't. A gorgeous breakfast, just everything you can imagine, from flapjacks and fried squirrels to hominy grits and honey in the cove.
Which puts everyone into a good humor, except my friend and me. Frankly, we're so impatient to get at the presents we can't eat a mouthful. Well, I'm disappointed. Who wouldn't be? With socks, a Sunday school shirt, some handkerchiefs, a hand-me-down sweater, and a year's subscription to a religious magazine for children. The Little Shepherd. It makes me boil, it really does. My friend, she has a better haul. Sack of satsumas, that's her best present. She's proudest, however, of a blue wool shawl, hand-knitted by her married sister. She says her favorite gift is the kite I built for her. And it is very beautiful, but not as beautiful as the one she made me, which is blue, scattered with gold and green good conduct stars. Moreover, my name is painted on it. Buddy.
Buddy. Wind is blowing.
Wind is blowing. And nothing will do till we run to a pasture below the house where Queenie has scooted to bury her bones. There, plunging through the healthy waist-high grass, the unreal our kites, feel them twitching at the string like sky fish as they swim into the wind. Satisfied, sun-warmed, we sprawl in the grass and peel satsumas and watch our kites cavort. Soon I forget them socks and the hand-me-down sweater. I'm as happy as if we'd already won that $50,000 grand prize in the coffee naming contest.
How foolish I am. You know, as I've always thought a body would have to be sick and dying before they saw the Lord. I imagine that when he came, it would be looking like a Baptist window, pretty as colored glass, but the sun pouring through. Oh, such a shine you don't know. It's getting dark. It's been a comfort to think of that shine taking away all the spooky things. But I'll wager at the very end, the body realizes the Lord has already shown himself. That things are as they are, just what they've always been. But seeing him, as for me, I can leave the world with today in my eyes.
Okay. This is our last Christmas together. Life separates us. Those who know best decide that I belong in a military school. So follows a miserable succession of bugle-blowing prisons, grim, revelry-ridden summer camps. I have a new home, too, but it doesn't count. Home is where my friend is, and there I never go. But there she remains, puttering around the kitchen, alone with Queenie, then alone.
Buddy dear,
She writes in her wild, hard-to-read scrawl.
Yesterday, Jim, Macy's horse, kicked Queenie bad. Be thankful she didn't feel much. I wrapped her in a fine linen sheet and rolled her Rode her in the buggy down to Simpson's pasture, where she can be with all her bones.
For a few Novembers, she continues to bake her fruitcake single-handed. Not as many, of course, but some. She always sends to me.
The best of the batch.
Also, in every letter was a dime wadded in toilet paper.
See a picture show and write me a story.
But gradually in her letters, she tends to confuse me with her other friend, the buddy who died in the 1880s. More and more, 13ths are not the only days she stays in bed. Morning arrives in November, leafless, birdless, coming of winter morning, and she cannot rouse herself to exclaim,
Oh my, it's fruitcake.
when this happens, I know it. The message saying so merely confirms a piece of news some vein has already received, severing from me forever an irreplaceable part of myself, letting it loose like a kite on a broken string. That is why on this particular morning in December, I walk across the school campus. I keep searching the sky, as if I expected to see, rather like heart, a lost pair of kites hurrying towards heaven.